Hello everyone and welcome into Coach Craig Sports. This is the MLB DFS Core Pick video for Wednesday, May 14th. If you're joining me for the very first time, first of all, welcome in. Second of all, this is how today's video will be structured. We go over my core picks. It's going to be one pitcher, four hitters. That's going to be based on a combination of past performance versus their respective opponent, as well as some recent history. After that, we'll get moved over to my cheat sheet and talk about my top GPP teams to stack for Wednesday's slate. And then in the morning, I'll be listing out my early morning weather report, and that will have any game that does have a double-digit chance of rain or higher. And then throughout the afternoon and early evening, I'll be listing as many of these starting lineups as I can get to down in that comment section as well. So definitely be sure that you are checking up down there, especially as we do get closer to lock. But without further ado, we're going to get right into it with the core picks. We're going to start off at that pitcher position with Nick Lodolo of the Cincinnati Reds, $9,700, averaging just over 30 fantasy points per game. And he goes against the Chicago White Sox. Should be a pretty favorable matchup for him just in general. He has good history versus this White Sox lineup in the past, although it is pretty limited sample size. He had 53 fantasy points versus them last season. And if we look at what Nick Lodolo has done so far in this season, he's got 3 wins, ERA at 3.23. Once again, averaging just over 30 fantasy points per game at $9,700. Definitely do like the upside for him on Wednesday's slate overall. And then we're going to get moving down to our hitters. We're going to start off with Nico Hoerner of the Chicago Cubs, $2,900, averaging just over 9 fantasy points per game on the season. And he's going against the Miami Marlins. Ryan Weathers making his season debut. He's coming off the injury list, so probably not going to pitch too deep into this game. But Nico Hoerner is 2 for 5 versus Ryan Weathers in his career. He's on a modest 8-game hitting streak as we do speak. He only has 1 multi-hit game during that time span, 0 home runs, but does have 4 double-digit performances, 5 games at least 9 fantasy points or higher. So definitely do like the floor of Nico Hoerner just in general. But he does come with a little bit of upside. You know, if he's out there, if he steals a base, if he scores a run, if he gets a couple hits, he's definitely a guy that could pay off in a pretty big way just in general. Then we're going to move down to third base with Manny Machado at $3,400, averaging just under 12 fantasy points per game. Goes against Los Angeles Angels. It is Kyle Hendricks on the mound. He is 9 for 20 versus Kyle Hendricks in his career. And Manny Machado has been doing really well as of late. He lost his hitting streak on Tuesday, but he has at least 1 hit in 12 out of his last 13 games, 7 multi-hit games during that time span, 1 home run, 9 double-digit performances, and 11 games of 9 fantasy points or higher. So a really good streak for Manny Machado as of late. Obviously, Tuesday was kind of the one lone bump in the road as of late, but do expect him to get right back on track versus Kyle Hendricks on Wednesday. Then we're going to move down to shortstop with Francisco Lindor. He's $4,000, averaging just under 13 fantasy points per game. He's going against the Pittsburgh Pirates, Bailey Falter on the mound, and he's 3 for 9 versus Bailey Falter in his career. And he has at least 1 hit in 5 out of his last 6 games. And we did see his hit streak end on Tuesday as well, but 4 multi-hit games during that time span, 2 home runs, 5 double-digit performances. Definitely do like the type of upside that he's been displaying as of late and entering an attractive matchup just in general. Then we're going to move down to his teammate in the outfield with Brandon Nimmo, $3,200, going against that Pirates team, and Bailey Falter. Once again, he is 5 for 12 with 1 home run versus Bailey Falter in his career. It's on a modest 6-game hitting streak as we do speak. Only 1 multi-hit game during that time span, 1 home run, 1 double-digit performances, but he does have 5 games of at least 9 fantasy points or higher, so does offer a relatively safe floor, but could have some high-end upside at the same time as well. But with that being said, if you go with the 5 players that I do currently have listed here, you have $11,800 remaining, just under $3,000 remaining per player. So I'm looking a little bit more like a balanced build type of day, especially the rest of the way. Obviously, stacks do play a pretty large role overall. So, if you don't want to play all 4 of these hitters together, definitely do understand that. Some great pitching options out there, whether you want to pay up to Yamamoto, whether you want to pay down to guys like Ryan Pepio, Patrick Corbin even has some decent history versus the Colorado Rockies. I know it's kind of risky, but he did pitch pretty well versus them last season and has been all right to start the season so far for the Texas Rangers. A lot of different options out there, so definitely feel free to mix and match as you do see fit. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to my cheat sheet and talk about my top GPP teams to stack for Wednesday's slate. So we are going to start off with the New York Mets, and they have hit Bailey Falter pretty well in the past. Whether that's Brandon Nimmo, Francisco Lindor, you name it, kind of anybody in the lineup is very much in play once again for this team. And then we got the Chicago Cubs going against Ryan Weathers, making his season debut, coming off that injured list, probably not going to pitch too deep into this game. Not a long sample size for the Chicago Cubs versus Ryan Weathers, but they have hit him fairly well in the past. And then we have the Los Angeles Dodgers going against Gunnar Hoglund, making his, I believe, 3rd career start for that Athletics team. So still remains to be seen how good he's going to be. I think he had 1 good start, 1 bad start so far. So Dodgers are a tough team to go against, especially for a young, unproven pitcher, but there is definitely a lot of upside for the Dodgers team just in general. And then last but not least, we have the San Diego Padres going against Kyle Hendricks of the Los Angeles Angels. A lot of these guys have hit him pretty well in the past and definitely do have some upside, and he hasn't been pitching the greatest so far to start out the young season. But with that being said, that's what I do have in terms of my core picks as well as top GPP stacks for Wednesday, May 14th. As always, if you have any questions related to MLB DFS, be sure to drop them down in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. And then once again, in the morning, I'll be posting my early morning weather report that will have any game that does have a double-digit chance of rain or higher. I'll be posting as many of these starting lineups as I can get to throughout the afternoon and early evening down in that comment section as well. So definitely make sure that you are checking up down there, especially as we do get closer to lock. But with that being said, if you are brand new to my channel, checking out for the very first time, or have yet to subscribe, please consider doing so. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS. Right now we have MLB DFS. In terms of the core pick videos, typically Monday through Friday. I know we missed Monday this week. Probably not going to have one for Thursday as it is a very, very weird slate. We'll see what the main slate looks like, but at least at this point in time would plan on not having it. But I will try to kind of share some general notes for all the games that are in play over on my Patreon. And then I do have my UFL DFS video coming out once a week. Typically that is on Wednesday. Sometimes it pops over to Thursday. Do expect it to be Wednesday night this week, so definitely on the lookout for that. And then last but not least, if you're interested in sports betting, if you're interested in prop betting whatsoever, be sure to check out the links and promo codes down in the description below for BetUS, Parlay Play, and Prize Picks. If you are a brand new user on any one of those three sites, when you sign up, make your initial deposit, you will get a first match deposit bonus. For Parlay Play and Prize Picks, it's 100% match up to $100, and then for BetUS, it's 125% match up to $2,000. So some pretty great opportunities to be had out there. If you have any other additional questions related to that whatsoever, feel free to reach out to me, whether it's down in the comment section of this video or on Twitter at Coach Craig Sport, and would be more than happy to help you with that journey. But with that being said, that's all that I truly have for today's video. Definitely do appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. Definitely means a lot to me. I hope that each and every one of you have a great rest of your day and some pretty good luck in MLB DFS for Wednesday, May 14th.